Alrighty, all you ham and eggers. As soon as the Chinese chainsaws died, I busted the chain on the thing, and instead of having pins in the chain, they've put it in like a steel press, so you got like these dimples, and they put the dimples through into the next part of the link, and then they hammer the dimples flat, so it's not actual proper pins. So chain was getting a little bit loose on it, and I refueled it and stopped for a while because I had a second run after I refueled it, getting a bit worn out. So I set it down, and I really should have retightened the chain. I could see it was getting a little bit loose, but got so loose it threw itself off and it broke itself in two parts. So that was the end of that. I've knocked out a couple here. One, the second one is that one that come down, it's under there. I threw all those on the top. That's rotten as hell, so we're going to get rid of that. All these I split up yesterday and done some more chainsawing and wore myself out before I finish that chain off. And to be honest, it's shit. It runs good cold, and then it will die once it warms up. So, I think all of a couple of hours use and the rings are basically fucked. Like as though if it's dying for power when it's warmed up and it's good when it's cold, yeah, it's and how long did we get out of there? 2 trees. That's basically it. Yeah, and a branch off another one. I just dropped this one. I got the still going. I used to pay $50 a chain for these. Brand new chain, still made in Switzerland, $36, and the bars are about $55 to $65. So, yeah, I might be sticking with the still for a number of years now. I could have got a bar if I had got the model number off the side, but all I had was the chain number. So, father wants to use it in a few box thorns, so he made a deal. Well, I'll buy you a new chain and I can burn out your old ones. And I said, yeah, right, yeah, because basically most of them are buggered anyway. But the bar's well overheated far too many times, and it's basically completely shagged, that bar. Anyway, I cut into this and whatnot, and the book tells you do a notch in the front, and I didn't really do a notch. I just sort of done one angle up a little bit like that, and you can also cut into the back flat. Now, my dad's old workmates used to say, no, you want to cut it on an angle because it'll slide down, because if you've got this as a V and that piece comes out, in this case I just went straight in like that, because the other chainsaw was a bit of a pain in the arse to hang on to because it was so damn heavy, and that's what I started doing this with. So I just come in like that, and then, the book says you can go flat, and I'm trying to get this stump as low to the ground as I can. Bugger to go flat. I'll try to go on a bit of an angle, so I'll meet up with this one. Well, it didn't quite go on the right angle. But, I started to rain, so I went in and I come out and it's like, what the fuck is wrong with this thing? I couldn't get it to tip. And so I've come in again, you've come in from the back and you don't have much room, so then you sort of go this way and you come in from this way. And she just wouldn't fucking tip, and I could rock it, but it wasn't going to go. So anyway, ended up playing around a bit more. Then it started raining, then I stopped for a while, and I just come out 5 minutes ago and come back in again. So this time I'm trying to come in from the end here and swing this little 16-inch bar, and I've already come in from here, and then I'm coming in from the other side, and already you've got there. As you're coming in this side, you're cutting all these extra lumps. As you're coming in from this side, you're cutting these pieces here out. Then you've come in from the back here, and you can see there's a bit of a line right there where I've come in from the back, and it was not gonna fucking fall. Son of a bitch. Well, turns out some of the top there is hanging on to some of this. Got the old wedge in there. Give it a few taps with the back of the log splitter, which is basically a sledgehammer. This is a good American brand, this one. And by hell, that'll go through all of it. That's not a fiberglass handle, that's actually a plastic, like a polyethylene handle. By hell, you can do some stuff with this, and I have. and just started tapping away at the wedge, and down she comes. So that's the third one. I might have been able to get through winter with these, but you got to sort of work on the basis. Like, these are supposed to go pretty much all night, you know. And some of these, they won't. Little slithers like that, you know, that you take off this one, because if that plus that, it'd be too big. So you got to chip a bit off. So you got a few small ones through here by necessity, but you got, you know, you got a few decent sized ones, you know. And most of these will do most of a night. I'm not saying they'll go all night, but you'll get a decent amount of slog out of them for most of the night. You may notice I've fixed my shoes with silicone like a true hillbilly. And this is what I was saying, some of these lower down ones though was rotten as shit. Freaking mess, honestly. But that's in between this stump and this piece here. Most of it was rotten. So, and a lot of the stuff after that, you just got a little bit of rot down there. Wasn't too bad, but this is just going in the bonfire, this big bit, because it's a mess. And, well, these ones won't because they're already split, but I tell you what, they're not exactly very good. Anyway, I've still got to cut some of these up into more pieces. There's another one under there. I don't know if I'll even worry about these little buggers because I've got so many smaller logs. But anyway, you sort of got to work on the basis, like I was saying. You have one of these every night, and you got to say, well, there's 90 nights of winter, so you sort of want about 90. You're not going to really get that, but you might be able to, you know, have a bit of a mid-size one or a couple of mid-size ones. It gets near the end of winter, and I seem to be on a lot of mid-size ones, and it'll be sleep for 4 hours, wake up because it's getting cold, and throw another mid-size one on, and you have two mid-size ones. But I don't like waking up in the middle of the night all the time. Anyway, so I decided to do the third one here, and there's going to be a few decent ones come out of this. And plenty of big ones come out of this one. Anyway, this is just crap fucking conifer. But you got to work with what you got. Well, there we go. Thank God for the old wedges out of 1968 or wherever it come from. And look, this was just sitting here, wasn't going to fall. That's all that snapped. Just that. Just that. That was the only bit that snapped. All the rest was cut. Sometimes more than once. That's what you need sometimes, a little wedge. She gives you the push. The good ones are the plastic wedges, so you can leave the wedges in and keep chainsawing, and if you hit them, it's not going to damage your blade or damage your wedge, but you won't fuck your chain up. But if I hit this with a chain, there's going to have to be a lot of filing and a lot of fix-up of that chain, and you're going to shorten the lifespan when you file off all the bits that you fucked up. So anyway, it's a few good yards along this one anyway. A lot of these, they tend to be, this is part of the other one that fell down, just haven't moved this in the bonfire yet, but a lot of these, when you get up higher, they're actually freaking junk. Some of them are actually sort of, this ain't bad, but some of the other ones, they've got a bit of rot as you get up higher. Oh, this is not too bad. It's not, but that's pretty good. Like some of these ones, they'll be rotten, you know, when they're like, they're friggin' this thick, and they'll be rotted back to about that big or something. But oh yeah, and this one is one of them. Yeah, there you go. So yeah, they tend to get a bit shitty up the top, and I think it's just because they're thin. The water's got into them easier because they're so thin. But once you get down to your, and probably lack of bark, because the bark flakes off all the top, as you can see. There's all the bark's pretty much, it's a little bit there, but most of it's flaking off. But when you get down, the bark gets a lot heavier, and then that sort of protects it from rot. So that's bloody beautiful wood, actually. I mean, it's only softwood shit, but yeah, a couple of bugs get into underneath the bark there. They seem to, yeah, big ass galls. I had a branch come out of this about 3-4 years ago, and I actually heard it collapse at night and come out, and that one went through the wood heater a couple of years ago. Yeah, seemed to be a bit infested lower down with the bugs, and sort of a bit of rot up the top. But the bulk of you know, from within a 2-3 yards up, the bulk of that is really good in terms of the quality, you know. Even though it is only conifer, but as I said, you know, you got what you got, and that's it.